I love Game of Thrones. I love everything about this show. The world, the characters, the feeling that the show created. There's nothing like it. This show has been fucking sacred. I've been on a journey for years, trusting the entire way that they knew what they were doing. And after 7 seasons, to have everything derailed by a single episode is heartbreaking. This is the worst written episode in the entire series, and quite possibly the biggest cop-out in television history. You've been hyping the White Walkers since the first scene of the series. You've been setting up a showdown between Jon and the Night King since season 5. You've been telling us that winter is coming for 8 seasons, and you decided to do absolutely nothing and cut off everything we've been building towards for years. What the fuck have you done? Let's start from the beginning. Where the fuck did the Red Woman come from? Not only was she banned from the north under punishment of death, but there is a giant walker army in the direction she came from, yet she just casually strolls in like nothing is happening. She casts a spell and ignites all the Dothraki swords, and I admit, this was fucking amazing. So amazing that all the Dothraki lose their minds and go apeshit charging into the darkness with no information or vision on the enemy at all. They literally charge blind into the night. And this is the start of a pattern that ruins this entire episode. People doing stupid shit for the sake of the visual. But at least we got to see Ghost, right? For half a second before dying off screen. Or maybe he lived, who knows? I can't fucking see anything. The Dothraki run face first into the horde as Jon and Daenerys watch from a cliff as their cavalry gets slaughtered and the flames slowly die out. Jorah and what's left of the Dothraki limp back to the front lines, utterly defeated, and once again I ask, why the fuck did you charge into them blindly? Was that even the plan? And if it was, why the fuck wouldn't you use the dragons on the front line like you have already shown to be an effective tactic? Instead, they let the armorless Dothraki horsemen run blind into the night. Jon says, the Night King is coming, and Daenerys says, the dead are already here. Jon has no way of knowing that, and if he's implying that the plan is for them to wait, then who the fuck gave the order to charge? Why are you not on the front line with your men, Jon? Dany saying that the dead are already here literally hurts my brain, as she just watched her entire army get destroyed with him, so clearly he is aware of that. And if she is this concerned, again, why is she chilling on the cliff rather than doing what she has done in every other fight she's been in, and being right in the middle of the action? We see the undead army crash into the front lines, practically burying the Unsullied. Jon and Daenerys finally get off their ass and join the fight, burning rows of walkers and attempting to attack the backline only to be shoved back by a blizzard that covers the battlefield. We see almost every main character get swarmed, ending with Ed getting stabbed while trying to save Sam, who apparently has reverted back to season 1 and runs away like a fucking pussy. Thank you for wasting a great opportunity to show his growth as a character. What the fuck are you doing? Did this fucker spend an entire season training as a maester just to watch Ed get shanked and then run away? Are you serious? The front line is swarmed and they are forced to fall back, and Grey Worm gives a signal to light the trench, but the blizzard is preventing Daenerys from seeing the signal. What a shame. If only they had another dragon. So they literally have soldiers sprinting with torches, tripping and falling. They didn't have a plan B because dragons are apparently now the only way to light a fire. Scratch that, the Red Woman once again casually strolls out and lights the entire trench. They try to build suspense by making her fail a few times as the White Walkers close in. Almost as if they forgot that we just watched her casually stroll out like she's going to her fucking mailbox rather than the battlefield. We cut to the crypt and get a moment with Tyrion venting his frustration with not being able to help. And considering the absolute dog shit strategy that Jon and Daenerys have planned up, it makes me wonder why Tyrion, one of the best tactical minds in the show, is locked in a crypt. But Sam, the Maester dropout, is on the front line crying his eyes out. Bran wargs into Ravens to track down the Night King. He doesn't tell anyone or share any information at all. And again, it was just for the fucking visual. We see the Whites start walking into the trench to out the flames. Why did they decide to do this now after staring at the fucking flames for 5 minutes? Why is it that every other episode walkers are extremely flammable, yet now 3 of them can out a raging fire with their skinny bodies? Does this make any sense to you? No, but it looked cool and that's what matters, right? I would also like to point out that Jon is literally sitting on his dragon watching all this happen, and I don't even know where the fuck Daenerys is. Jon and the Night King lock eyes for the 3rd time in the series, and Jon flies off to engage him. We see Gendry, Brienne, and Jaime holding the wall against the sieging horde. No oil, no fire, no arrows, no strategy at all. Everyone just hacking and slashing mindlessly. They have 2 dragons. They have a goddamn castle. The biggest army the North has ever seen. They have a fucking kid who could see the future, yet they are fighting in the stupidest way possible. When the show has already shown effective battle tactics and logical consistency season after season, what the fuck are you doing? But no, let's just make the entire cast stupid to balance things out. Didn't Ned say 500 men could hold Winterfell? Did you forget that? We see Brienne save Jaime from the swarm, and Sam saved for the 2nd time in this episode by Jorah, while the Hound is literally having a panic attack. Why did you bring him back in the show just to do this to him? Why? And then we cut to Arya, who was whooping the shit out of a group of walkers before banging her head against the wall trying to show off. We see little Lyanna Mormont, the she-bear, stay true to her word and sacrifice herself to take out a giant like the badass she is. I actually love this scene and have no real complaints, but it does bring up an issue. They showed 2 giants marching in the Horde last season. Where the fuck is the other giant? I'll forgive you for not breaking out the ice spiders and all the other shit that you teased in season 1, but the giant was literally there. How the fuck do you forget a giant, you fucking hacks? Jon and Daenerys fly high into the sky, and it's fucking amazing. 40 minutes into the episode, and I finally get to see a fucking dragon properly. They scrap it out in the sky and plunge back into the clouds. Then suddenly we're watching The Walking Dead. We get a horror movie scene with Arya, and as amazing as the scene was, it clearly shows how sensitive the walkers are to sound. Keep that in mind. We see the Hound and Beric enter the castle in search of Arya. Why they left the battlefield for Arya when there is literally an army sieging the walls is beyond me. This girl robbed you and left you to die. He should hate her guts, this makes no sense. Arya bursts through the door covered in walkers, and Beric literally becomes a barricade and gets stabbed a million times saving Arya, a girl he barely knows and shouldn't give a fuck about. So you're telling me that this guy came back from the dead 6 times just to lead Arya to the Red Woman, who literally tells her nothing she didn't already know. He fucking died brutally so the Red Woman could give Arya a pep talk, while the Hound stands there like a fucking idiot. And the biggest insult to my brain is Beric dying right in front of a goddamn witch who doesn't even try to bring him back to life, or anyone else in the episode for that matter. They are trapped in this room, yet Arya just runs to the right off screen like it's no problem. Are you fucking kidding me? Theon and the other Greyjoys protecting Bran are swarmed by walkers. They are supposedly the best archers in all of Westeros, yet instead of being on the wall where they're actually going to be some use, they are on the ground with no shields, no barriers, or even swords to protect Bran, while Bran does Bran things. It's an epidemic now. Everyone doing stupid shit to set up a visual. Not to mention, this is one of the 10,000 times this episode they show people getting helplessly swarmed just to cut away before we see it. Then we cut back and everything is cool. What the fuck am I watching? Jon and the Night King duke it out in the sky, dragon to dragon, one of the few visuals I can actually enjoy that isn't butchered by stupid writing. Dany flanks the Night King and knocks him off of his dragon, hundreds of feet to the ground, as Jon's dragon literally forgets how to fly and crashes down, almost breaking Jon's neck in the process. The Night King, who is literally unfazed by falling hundreds of feet out of the sky, gets engulfed by dragon fire, and once again, is completely fine. They are clearly trying to set him up to be unstoppable. He even smirks, further increasing my interest in this character, before throwing a spear at Daenerys, who literally flies away in fear, leaving Jon on the ground. Jon sprints towards the Night King, who is casually strolling. He turns to face Jon, who is somehow even further away now. You made us wait 2 years for this fucking episode, yet you can't even get basic editing right. The Night King raises his arms, and Jon, who decided to stop running for no reason at all, starts running again to try to stop him, only to get surrounded by like a million zombies. 360 degrees of walkers, and one Jon Snow whose fucking back should be broken after that fall. He is surely dead. Even the bodies in the crypt come back to life, and it makes you wonder why when facing an enemy that can raise the dead, they decided to have the women and children in the exact same place where they bury their dead. We cut back to Jon, who is magically no longer surrounded. They are all conveniently lined up in front of him so Daenerys can reappear and burn them all. Where the fuck did she even go? Why would she leave Jon to get surrounded by walkers? Why let the Night King get away so easily when he only had one spear and he fucking missed? Why are you so stupid, Dany? She decides to land her dragon in the middle of the battlefield just to tell Jon to go, even though he was already fucking going. She sits there and watches the back of his fucking head instead of fighting, or covering him, or carrying him on the fucking dragon, any of the useful things she has done in the past. No, everyone is just insane in this episode, including the dragon, who like his idiot brother, forgets how to fucking fly, and lets these scrawny, punk-ass, malnourished walkers swarm him. Dany falls off her dragon, and Drogon remembers he has wings and flies away, leaving his mother. Daenerys has no dragon, no weapons, no armor, just that stupid fur coat she's been wearing for fucking weeks. She's surely dead, right? Wrong. Jorah Mormont of House Friendzone comes out of nowhere to save her right in the nick of time. One of the only thematically consistent scenes in this entire episode. Daenerys doing something stupid and Jorah showing up in the nick of time to save her. Jon sprints through Winterfell and sees all his friends in danger as walkers fall from the sky, literally above his head, showing clearly where his priorities lie. Everything he's been through has led to this, and nothing is going to stop him now. Theon, seemingly the only one left to defend Bran, was too stupid to bring a sword and is now fighting off the hordes with a stick while Bran watches fucking Endgame. Jon's path is cut off by the dragon as the Night King makes a dramatic slow motion entrance into the Goswood. It was fucking glorious. Theon goofily charges into the Night King and his crew, literally throwing away his life, once again just for the fucking visual, as the Night King stabs him with the wooden end of the spear right through his armor. Meanwhile, Jorah, one of the best fighters in the show, who has a Valyrian steel sword and a queen to defend, somehow gets killed by like 5 zombies after literally crashing into the horde. And even though Jorah is literally the first character to show us the effectiveness of armor in the show, they forget all that and have him stabbed right through his breastplate, just for the sake of the visual for him dying for Daenerys. And right after he fucking dies, Drogon the useless dragon shows up to take a nap. Where the fuck have you been, you stupid reptile? Where's Jon's dragon? Where the fuck is Ghost? What happened to Bran's birds? Why is every person and animal useless in this episode? Jon is pinned down by the dragon and cut off from the Night King. The piano music rises as the Night King approaches Bran. 8 seasons I've been waiting for this moment. I can barely breathe. The Night King is face to face with Bran as he reaches for his sword. Jon stands up and is face to face with the dragon and screams "Go!" confusing the fuck out of me. Why are you yelling at a dragon, Jon? What the fuck are you doing? And then I get my answer. Arya, out of fucking nowhere, leaps out and stabs the Night King, crumbling him and his entire army. Arya Stark saves the world, while Jon Snow is yelling at a fucking dragon. They spend 8 seasons hyping this guy just to kill him in 1 episode, without him saying a word. We learn nothing about him, his faction, his plan, his motivation, or his backstory, or the connection he had to Bran. After all these years of speculation, nothing. Daenerys spent 6 seasons gathering her army. Jon gave his life to unite the free folk so they can have a chance against the Night King. Everything they went through, everything they sacrificed, all of this just for Arya to roll up and shank him? Are you fucking kidding me? Why the fuck would you do this? Arya has absolutely no association with the Walkers. She has never even seen one. Her story has had nothing to do with them whatsoever. Jon, on the other hand, has been building up to this moment since season 1. His entire story has been about the Walkers, and you gave his payoff to Arya. Why? Why? Not only did you fail to give us a logical climax to one of the greatest shows of all time, you destroyed the very meaning of the show in the process and wasted entire character arcs. What the fuck was the point of all this? What is Jon Snow's purpose now? This show is not about the fucking throne. It's about the realm putting all the petty bullshit aside for the greater good to fight a common enemy. The Night King and the Walkers were supposed to show us how pointless the politics and the backstabbing is, force the living to unite. And now the show is just about the throne and the politics. What the fuck was the point of Jon's entire story and character arc if all it took was a stab in the fucking back? How did you fucking do this? And don't you dare give me this Arya is a ninja bullshit. I love Arya. She was my favorite character in season 1. I didn't even know who the fuck Jon was in season 1. I couldn't even recognize him. I thought him and Robb were the same person till fucking season 2. But let's be real here. She sold fucking oysters and fought a girl with a stick. They rushed the shit out of her training and cut off the rest. But it was still within reason. She was still a great character. Until now. You're telling me Arya, who has to struggle to sneak past the lethargic Walking Dead zombies in the library, is able to ninja run past an army of White Walkers, leap 100 feet through the air, and one-shot the main villain of the fucking series? You just broke the fucking show. This show used to make sense. This show was supposed to have a deeper meaning, and you threw everything away for a twist. A Dothraki army, an Unsullied army, 2 dragons, a direwolf, a psychic, and you decide to make all of them useless just to turn Arya into a superhero. And to any of you sons of bitches out there who have the audacity to say, it's just a show, it doesn't have to make any sense or follow the rules. First of all, fuck you. Second of all, the only rules a show or a movie has to follow are the ones that the show or the movie set itself. If you show me that Aquaman can breathe underwater, and then he fucking drowns in the sequel, then that is horrible writing. And I don't want to hear, it's just a superhero movie, it doesn't have to make any sense. Fuck you. Fuck off, that's stupid. If you show me the effectiveness of armor throughout the series, and then you stab Theon with a piece of wood, and Jorah through his fucking breastplate, then fuck you. If you tell me that Aegon the Conqueror took over all of Westeros with just 3 dragons and no army, and got the 7 kingdoms to kneel, but Daenerys' dragons literally forget how to fly in the middle of a battle, then fuck you. If you show me that White Walkers are extremely flammable throughout the entire series, and then you use 3 of them to out an entire trench, then fuck you. If you tell me that a battle planned by the best minds in Westeros somehow managed to position their fucking army backwards with the catapult and the cavalry in front, then fuck you, sir. If you're telling me that the Night King and Jon Snow's 8-season character arc was all for nothing, then fuck me for believing in you. You have 3 episodes left to fix this bullshit, or this will go down as the biggest fail in television history. You better not fuck this up.
A smart commander does not abandon a defensive advantage. As long as we stay behind these walls, they can't touch us.